Hello and welcome to the Norwich Union Kickstart Championship of 1986. Once again, we're at Easton Neston, and when you see massive obstacles like this around the place, it can only mean one thing, that we have here today, once again, the cream of the World's Trials riders. Truly international competition again, because as usual, not only we've got an English representative, 7 of them in fact, we've got 5 Belgians, we've got a chap from Jersey for the first time, Northern Ireland, Scotland represented, Canada and the USA. A truly international competition. The obstacles, again, as usual, pretty difficult. Some of them look fairly simple, devised as usual by my old mate Jack Stites. What's the problem with this one, Jack?
Oh, let's see. Well, you know, they all have a lot of problems with them. This one, of course, is a bit wobbly and a lot of holes to fall into.
Okay, so they've got to ride over this, but the course generally looks a little harder than we've had in the past.
Yeah, it is harder. There's a lot of skills that the riders are going to have to prove today. I mean, not just do, but prove them, especially if they want to win.
Why have you made it so tough? Is it that you think the standard of the riding has got better, or you just want to sort out the men from the boys?
It's a little of both. I mean, they have a lot of skills that, I mean, really need showing, and that's a good way to split them apart.
Well, by my reckoning from the entry, we've got probably the toughest and tightest Kickstart Championship ever. The World Championship's wide open as well, isn't it?
Yes, certainly is. And of course, we have the 2 top world riders here, which is, of course, Lejeune and Saunders. And
nice
Tony
to hear
Scarlett,
that.
yeah,
Steve Saunders, yeah,
yes,
Englishman, and Tony Scarlett, he's pretty well up there as well, certainly in the British Championship.
Exactly. Tony is really pushing Steve here in England, especially.
Well, the weather conditions doing what they usually do when Kickstart comes on the end. It's starting to rain, just to make it that little bit more difficult. 3 heats, ending up with a final, 2 riders from each heat to go through. We're set now for Heat 1.
And leading off the first heat then is the 1985 champion, Eddie Lejeune from Belgium. Number 2 is Jeremy Cragg of England. Number 3, Harold Crawford of Northern Ireland. Number 4, John Lampkin of England. Number 5, Stan Bakgaard from Canada. And number 6, former Kickstart champion, John Reynolds of England. So this is the man they've all got to beat. The great Eddie Lejeune, 25 years old now, winner of Kickstart last year, current leader with just 2 rounds of the World Championship to go. He is the current leader of the World Championship. Self-explanatory, that first one, he cleaned it beautifully. Now we come to a fairly difficult to look at, but well, Eddie's making it look easy. It's called the drop-off. 20-second penalties for every section not cleaned. The elapsed time you can see there in the right-hand corner. And Eddie Lejeune making the first part of the course very easy. Zebedee here, and that was beautiful. He held that very fast. That's the way it's got to be done. And now the long jump. And he made it. 27 feet through the air he flew there. Now he's got to make this gate. He didn't quite make that gate too easily, but your feet can go down from here on in until the next section. This is just a compulsory route. He's moving very fast over the ground. Now he's got a choice. He can go either on the staircase, which he is doing. When he comes back across there, he's got to go on the log. Here, he's got to get both wheels across and down. Oh, boy, is he making this course easy. Jack Stites, you said it was difficult.
Yes, it's difficult, but, I mean, you can see. Oh, he's
and
up.
he missed the gate. 20-second penalty there.
Yes, that was a super job on that turnaround. But right here, this turn right here, it's really slippery. And he had to keep that front wheel out. And, boy, remember how he did this.
Well, we've had a test of this course, not with Eddie Lejeune, and it looked very hard. But this man really is supreme. He once insulted us by saying that it was just like a training session for him coming over to do Kickstart. I'm afraid he's making the course look like that, clean through that difficult log box, and now perhaps the most difficult obstacle on the course,
right,
the cotton reels.
Exactly, he needs to use a lot of skills right here. Getting straight, coming up here, he's probably going to have to back up. Get himself nice and straight. Acceleration. Straight. Now he's all right. This is pretty straight through, but here, you see, he's already gone past this turn. Now he's going to have to get backwards to get back onto these spools.
No penalties yet. So he's clean apart from missing 1 gate. So 20 seconds against him, but no penalties on this particular section. And through it, he cleaned it. 1 penalty is all he's got. 20 seconds to add to that. Makes 2:43.1, and I can't see anyone getting near it. So 18-year-old Jeremy Cragg from Rochdale in Lancashire has to follow that Eddie Lejeune time. Started off there by the event promoter, Nick Britton. Now this, I can explain it. No, he's not going to be quite as fast as Eddie. It's all feet up. He's got to keep it up there and wheelie out. Now onto the drop-off, which Eddie Lejeune made look so easy. I promise you, it's tough.
Well, it's very easy if you stay in the right place. If you don't, I mean, it's very obvious what's going to happen.
Nasty drop if you muck it up. But he held it. That was good. That was clean. He's not in the section there, so he can go around again, coming up for the bunny hop. And cleans that. Now to Zebedee. This is a barrel followed by a sprung plank, and he holds it nicely. Compulsory route now before the long jump. 27 feet he's got to clear here. And through the air he goes. Beautifully done. Nearly lost it, nearly took our camera, but back he comes on the course, and he's doing a good time. He's got a lot of courage, as Jeremy, and I honestly think he was once a junior kickstart winner. Certainly he appeared many times in junior kickstart and performed pretty well there. How do you think he's doing, Jerry?
Well, he's doing very well, and that's right through here. The riders have the choice of either going over the log on this direction or on the other.
He's picked up a 20-second penalty, but he's clean there. Now he can come the easier way back, and he got some pace on it. So still one penalty against him. Just a compulsory route here. Can he get over? Oh, no, he can't. And that nosedive really has spoilt Jeremy's round a little. He actually ends up with a time, including penalties, of 3 minutes 57.3. So a newcomer now to kickstart, Harold Crawford, 21 years old, from County Down in Northern Ireland. And this is the third different bike we've seen so far. This is a Yamaha. So far we've seen the Fantic and the Honda. Eddie Lejeune on the Honda, Jeremy Cragg on the Fantic, and a foot down there from Harold Crawford. First time in kickstart. Nerves are going to play a big part in this.
Right, you've noticed here the suspensions on the bike. We switched, what was it, 2 years ago to mostly mono, where it's just a single shock in the rear. But just about all of them. I mean, I don't believe you'll find any that have 2 shocks in the back now.
Right, Zebedee, if he gets the pace on, he should be all right. If he's slow, he'll come off. But he's there. Just one penalty against him so far. Now the long jump. They've got to go here. 27 feet.
Right, and as you can see, the problem here is...
And he's down, didn't make it.
Yes, well, that's the first one that hasn't made it. Usually it's the other way where they miss this gate. Yeah, with these new mono suspensions, I mean, those jumps are a little bit easier than they were in the past, because the bike has more travel in the rear.
Which way is he going to choose? The log or the staircase to go across? He's going to try the log. The water's ever so deep there, but luckily he didn't go in the gap. But it's a 20-second penalty anyway. And another one there as well. And 2 more on the later part of the course. That left Harold Crawford ending up with a time of 4 minutes 27.1 for the first leg. John Lampkin, 23 years old, on the starting line from a great motorcycling family and following the tradition. He really is a great rider, this lad. From Skipton in North Yorkshire, riding a Fantic. And a 20-second penalty. I didn't expect that.
Yes, that was a silly mistake. Last year he had one of the fastest rounds. Real smooth and strong rider.
He's currently 3rd in the British Championship. Not doing great in the world this year, but he is a fine rider.
You know, so he shifted up several gears. He probably rode the first obstacle in like 2nd, and then went up to like 2nd, I mean 3rd or 4th.
And if you take that at a reasonable pace, hit it right in the middle, there's no trouble. As he comes to the long jump. They all groaned, didn't they, Jack, when they walked this course, when they saw that, and he's hit it! Didn't quite make it.
Right, I mean, it's a hard landing. No matter how you do it, it's a hard landing. Yes, and right now, of course, he has a decision on which way to go across here. The last few have taken the log, and it may be a smart idea. They've been doing better that way.
This has always caused problems, but he's done it. That's clean, that's nice. And now 2 wheels past that yellow mark, turn and out, feet up the whole time. Changed down rather niftily there.
Yes, well, if you notice, he left his rear tire on the ground up there, and that's a whole lot safer way to do it.
In fact, he's very rapid over the ground, but he's also hitting the ground. That's a shame. Precisely what Jeremy Cragg did. Another 20 against him, so that's a minute to add. Makes it difficult. He's now outside Eddie Lejeune's time, and that just shows how good a ride that was from Lejeune.
Okay, once again, just make sure you don't get that front tire just stuffed in behind some of these others.
Oh, is he
Like
going
that.
to come out there? As long as they
That's
stay
very
inside
nice,
the box,
very
all right,
nice.
no flag. So at the moment, by my reckoning, he's got 3 penalties against him as he comes to this very awkward cotton reel obstacle.
Just get himself nice and straight, back up. He needs an acceleration right here. See how he got that acceleration to make it so he could coast up those real sharp edges.
Now he's got to get in position to make his escape. Clean on this so far.
But if you notice, when he came down, he kicked that rear tire over early. Ooh, very nice.
Very neat indeed. Excellent. Only 3 penalties to add, so it's a great ride there. 1 minute to add to that, then makes 3:33.8, puts him in second place. Well, this young man, Stan Bakgaard from Calgary, Alberta in Canada, came over for Kickstart last year. Mixed fortune, didn't do wonderfully, but enjoyed himself, so he's back here again now. A Yamaha 250.
Right, he's the first rider we have that's doing this from the.
And a
Ooh,
foot
left
down
or
there,
right.
so penalties.
That is a bit of a shame. I don't think he needed that. Once again, if you stay in the right place, it's just a drive around, and if it's not,
You make it sound like Main Street USA. That's very difficult, Jack.
it
Oh, and he
Oh.
didn't make the gate, did he? Well, there's no flag come up. They've allowed that, but he rode over the gate. I've got a sneaky feeling that should have been scored against.
Yes, that's
And
very
in
good.
fact, the marshals have said that it's okay, so he doesn't get the penalty for that, as he flies through the air and he makes it.
But that gate is really hard to hit right there. It's very slippery, and you need to be hard on the brakes. It's quite easy to just have the whole bike slip away from you.
So Stan Bakgaard doing very well indeed. 1 penalty against him at the moment.
Looks like he took a little higher line there. He's getting nice and straight for the log, which seems like to be the smart way to go.
Oh, and he just came off there. Didn't quite make it. He
Yes.
made that neatly, and now he can come back over the staircase, so he's got 2 penalties against him. But still, this is a good ride. How's he going to manage with this pyramid, Jack?
Boy, this is very hard. The only way it's been made so far is keeping that front wheel very, very high.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, he was very careful over that, but let's kickstart it, get on with the job.
But the major problem with that is when they come over, the bank comes up on the other side, and it just stops that front wheel.
No one's... Ooh. Well, he was out of the section, so that's all right, but no one's had any real trouble with that Zebedee spring log, have they?
It's made that look very nice and smooth.
1 minute to add. That's 3 penalties at 20 seconds each. 1 minute to add to his time, which you can see on the
Remember,
right. The time of Eddie Lejeune on the left.
Boy, it takes so much control and concentration, and just not to get yourself all worked up and just ready to zoom. I mean, you've got time. It's very hard to do.
Whatever the situation after this first round of this heat,
Ooh.
they have to go over the course again in the opposite direction. It's the combined time that'll decide who wins and who is second. As I've said before, the first 2 will go to the final.
He rode that
He's
in.
cleaning this. Just 3 penalties to add, makes 3 minutes 50.8. John Reynolds, 28 years old, from North Yorkshire, Tadcaster in fact, riding a JCM, winner of Kickstart the very first time the competition was held. What's he going to do today? He's certainly going to try.
But what he's doing, he's lining himself so that it's more of a straight line, and he's actually driving across, which is very nice.
That's really how he does it. Basically. The drop-off sounds like an instruction rather than a name, doesn't it?
But what the point is here, you see he's got to get the front wheel out very far and to swing it over just in time for the rear tire to stay on. So you can just flip it out. Very nice.
And it's down. The bunny hops down. Well, you did say this was a course that required great skill, and I think we're seeing a lot of tremendous skills today, Jack.
Well, it's true. I mean, if it's done correctly, it looks easy. And if it's not, then of course we've seen plenty of that too.
Okay, on the compulsory route through the woods. It's very slippery down there. There's a lot of loose stuff, and it's a very steep bank as he comes to now take his choice. What's he going to do? The log or the ladder? The ladder. So he's got to come back on the log. 2 wheels past the yellow, swing it round. He's out of the section. Failed that. So 2 penalties against him. A little bit. What went wrong there? A little bit too quick.
Well, what it is, you've really got to get a spin up there at the top, and we've seen several ways to do it. Like Eddie Lejeune actually kicked the rear tire.
Just enough room for a wheel to get in there. He's locked. He's got problems. And in fact, that was only the start of his problems, because his chain came off as well. And although he did complete the course, Reynolds' time was a huge 6 minutes 5.3. So at the end of the first part of Heat 1, Eddie Lejeune of Belgium, clear leader, 2 minutes 43.1. In second place, John Lampkin of England, 3 minutes 33.8. In third place, Stan Bakgaard of Canada in 3 minutes 50.8. Then comes Jeremy Cragg of England, 3:57.3. Harold Crawford of Northern Ireland, 4:27.1. And poor old John Reynolds there of England last in 6:05.3.
Well, all the riders seemed to make quite easy work of this obstacle in that first round, but John Reynolds, who had that dreadful last attempt around the course, well, his second attempt wasn't much better either. Had a couple of rather bad accidents. One of them happened right here.
Harold Crawford, the 21-year-old newcomer from County Down, Northern Ireland, he made a mess of the pallets, ending up with a total time for 2 rounds, 8 minutes 35.4. Jeremy Cragg from Rochdale, he didn't do much better with a disaster on the moving logs. His total time for 2 rounds, 7:23.2. So remember, the course is now reversed as we join Canadian Stan Bakgaard on the start line.
When he comes up here, you can see when he gets right to the very top, he wants to make an early right-hand turn. Ooh, but not like that.
No, he's got to get down off there. Oh, well, that's fun. So I think he's looking for perhaps a ruling to find out what he can do here, whether he has to attempt it again. The ruling is that each rider must make a genuine attempt at an obstacle. And he's picked up a penalty there. I think that will probably count as a genuine attempt, and he may bypass this next section. Yes, looks like it. Oh, he's not.
No.
He's going to try that as well. Oh, he's starting off less well than he finished the first round. Very noble attempt from him there.
That was a tough break.
Now he can attack the rest of the course. There's his total time. And feet down, so he's blown that one as well. So after a promising first round, Stan made a bit of a hash of the second leg and was eventually excluded for missing an exit gate. A long trip from Canada with no reward. In second place after the first round, and realistically one of the favourites, John Lampkin.
Well, this next obstacle, I mean, it's really proven to be very hard so far.
He cleaned it in the other direction in the first round.
But notice he needs to come down real sharp and see how far. I mean, he's quite a ways away. All he had to do is get the front around straight. Nice straight line.
He's quite a big lad, John, though, isn't he? I think strength appears to account in this particular obstacle.
Right, you need to be able to lift the front end around and actually even bring the rear around like we saw at one point. Very smooth, very nice.
So he's cleaned that obstacle twice, once in each direction. What's he going to do with these moving logs?
So he took an entirely different line there. Did you notice that? He made it
sailed
look
through them.
very easy.
He didn't want to get his wheel stuck where Stan Bakgaard got his stuck there. The time in the left-hand corner is that of Jeremy Cragg. That's what John Lampkin has to beat, his time in the right-hand corner.
Right, notice the front wheel has to be right in the air, right there. Clears the skid pan, the bottom of the engine. Very neat.
He's been a force to reckon with for some years now, John Lampkin. Still only 23.
So he's taken a ladder across first. I don't believe we've had any cleans going back the other direction. On the log, we'll see.
Clean everywhere so far, though. Can he do it? He can't. You can see that happening all the way. What a shame.
That's a bad spot.
Never mind. He's out. So he's just got one penalty. This is okay. He was in second place after the first round. Just 20 seconds to add to that. Time to beat on the left. I would expect him to get through now.
Right, everyone who's made this long jump have gone way down low, just like that. But that'll be so they can use a larger gear and have more speed coming up. So he should make it easily.
20 feet through the air.
But he
He
did not.
didn't make it. So he's now got 40 against him. That won't please him.
No, that was a very silly mistake. He took the time to go down low, but didn't get the speed he needed.
He's putting himself under a lot of pressure now. 2 obstacles to complete. Can he clean them? If he doesn't, he's in trouble. But he cleans the bunny hop. Now it's the drop off. 40 seconds to add for John Lampkin. Can't afford a mistake. His father and his uncles will be proud of him. He's done that beautifully. And he's through. He'll go through to the final. He's already leading the competition. That now makes it 6:42.2. That's the leading time. So here he is, the man who's won everything. Eddie Lejeune from Hervé, Belgium.
It'd be real interesting. It just wants the speed that he takes things. See how right at the very top he just slows down to nothing, takes the time, the control. He's in a good spot there, hops the front around. He probably should back it up a little. He looks a little close.
He's embarrassingly good, actually.
But see how he's getting that rear tire lined up with that plank. See the rear tire's straight, acceleration.
He coaxes the bike over, doesn't he? Bends the knees, drags it on.
It's all control.
Beautifully cleaned. Fastest over the ground in the first round. Most accurate of all the riders from this heat as well. It's hard to imagine that he won't win the heat. 3 minutes to play with, plus a few seconds. Clean so far, and he's already a good third of the way around the course.
And see how quick he got his front end down that time. I mean, if you can keep the front end on the ground, you can steer and you have more control. And it was very quick.
Came off the log on the first round, his only fault, but he makes that look so easy.
Let's see what I was talking about.
What's he going to do here? He's going to come off it again. So twice the same obstacle.
But he did that same thing where he actually kicked the rear tire in the air on that plank, where you don't need to. And it's just being that secure on what you're going to do.
He's just been flashed, Jack.
You're right. But he's also the only one who's not taken a trip backwards on there. And he made it.
He wasn't sure he was going to. He saw that nervous look back, but he did clean it. But again, didn't seem to race at it. It was a very gentle approach.
But he's able to use very tall gears. I think most people were probably in third, and he probably was able to do it in fourth.
20 seconds penalties. That's all. So he's going to win this heat by a long, long way. He is a magnificent champion. 4:49.8 plus 20 makes 5 minutes 09.8. Eddie Lejeune wins the heat. So the result of Heat 1, first Eddie Lejeune of Belgium, 5 minutes 09.8. In second place, John Lampkin of England, 6 minutes 42.2. Then Jeremy Cragg of England, he was third, 7:23.2. Harold Crawford from Northern Ireland, 8:35.4 in his first visit to Kickstart. John Reynolds surprisingly gets in fifth place, 10 minutes 29.8, with Stan Bakgaard of Canada excluded.
Well, Jack Stites said that this course required skill. I'm sure you'll agree this first heat has proved it. And Heat 2, that's going to be a cracker as well, because it features the man who's pushing Eddie Lejeune in the World Championship this year, Steve Saunders of England. There's another Englishman, a Scot, 2 Belgians and a Swede. Whatever you do, don't miss it. Hello and welcome to Easton Neston for Heat 2 of the Norwich Union Kickstart Championship of 1986. If you were with us for Heat 1, you'll know that this extremely demanding course has allowed the Belgian 3-time world champion Eddie Lejeune and John Lampkin of England to go through to the final. They're going to be joined by 2 of the riders from today's heat. I suppose the favourite's got to be Steve Saunders of England, but he may well be pushed by another Lejeune, Eric Lejeune, much improved rider this year, who also goes in this heat. Here's a full list of the riders.
So the first to go in Heat 2 will be that man, Steve Saunders of England, number 7. Number 8, Leslie Winthrop from Scotland. Number 9, Glenn Scoley of England. Number 10, Eric Lejeune of Belgium. Number 11, Johnny Anderson of Sweden. And number 12, Bernard Cordonnier of Belgium. On the start line then, Steve Saunders, 21 years old, comes from near Cheltenham in Gloucestershire. He's been runner-up twice in this event as he comes up to the first obstacle, the drop-off. As usual, with me in the commentary box, the former All-Florida Trials champion, Jack Stites. You get penalties, 20 seconds for each section uncompleted or fouled upon. Whoa! And that Zebedee really caught out there. There's one retainer to stop it moving, but if you hit it wrong as you come over the barrel, then it moves. And that's what happened to Steve there, so he's got a 20-second penalty. Long jump. Well, he'll be very upset about that, but he's motoring now, Jack.
Yes, he certainly is. He's coming up here to cross the water section, and of course he has a choice of taking either the ladder or the log.
Yes, here's the choice. He's deciding to take the log. That means when he comes back the other way, he has to go across the staircase. Now, I'm not sure he made that. He might just have missed the exit gate. Both wheels across the yellow there and swung round, so he did miss the exit gate, and he may... He's got 2 penalties against him so far.
Oh, very nice. That was the only, I mean, it was Eddie Lejeune was the only one to make that last time. And of course his teammate is Steve Saunders.
Now he's got to go over the Zebedee again. Can he do it this time? Yes, he can. You saw how difficult it was first time, so that was a great ride to get over then. 2 penalties against him. His elapsed time in the right-hand side there, right-hand corner. As a guide, Eddie Lejeune in Heat 1. His finish time was 2 minutes 43.1 on this first round. The course has to be ridden in both directions. Every rider goes twice.
He needs to really slow down here because he's going to make a very sharp turn. Okay, what he's doing here is actually he's going to back up all the way past, hopefully he is, back all the way up and then hit that one spool, the small spool against the big one.
He's got to hop up here and get over onto that big reel on the left of your screen.
He's taking a lot of time.
But it has taken a lot of time, but it's still a very good time. Only 2 penalties, 2:28.7, makes 3:08.7. On the start line then, our Scots rider, Leslie Winthrop, who's 22, comes from a small village just outside Edinburgh. Riding a Yamaha and going up to this first obstacle, the drop-off. Self-explanatory. He's making it look easy, Jack.
Well, he certainly is, and this is one section that if you have the wheels in the right place, you drive through.
So nicely cleaned there. Failed on the bunny hop. Here's the awkward Zebedee, and he made it.
Okay, you can see him. He just went from the 2nd to 4th gear right there to get a good launch. And just if he can stop. Just a little
Not
far.
in time for the right turn. But he was very nervous at looking at this course. He thought it looked extremely difficult. Wasn't too happy about it at all, but he started off very well.
Well, and especially coming after Steve Saunders. I mean, can't help anybody.
Steve Saunders' time, including his penalties, on the left-hand side of the screen. The elapsed time for Leslie Winthrop. Oh, well balanced.
Very nice.
Oh, and he's off. Feet down, missed the gate. Now, I think he's got to go back and come out through that gate. Otherwise, he could have been excluded. But he's done that okay. Now he can come back across the staircase. Doesn't have to do the walk twice.
This is the one that gets him. Oh, very nice. Kept that front end.